मिस्टेक और मिस्टेक्स. सो अभी जब मैंने ये टर्म यूज़ किया, व्हाट वाज द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट पॉप्ड इनटू योर हेड? लाइक व्हाट वाज द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट केम इनटू योर माइंड? यही ना कि समथिंग दैट यू माइट हैव डन रॉन्ग फॉर विच यू कैन गेट इनटू ट्रबल. यही मोस्टली जो है आएगा ना दिमाग में. बट देखा जाए, आई मीन इट इज़ नॉट रॉन्ग, दैट मीनिंग इज़ नॉट रॉन्ग. मतलब हम लोग को यही सिखाया जाता है, लाइक वी हैव बीन टॉट दिस मीनिंग आवर एंटायर लाइफ. बट एट दिस स्टेज, राइट, आई मीन post pandemic period, when I have gone through those experiences and through that entire phase, I have gotten to know a completely different meaning of this term. Or maybe this is the actual meaning that people don't teach us, or like our teachers or our parents don't teach us, just because they want us to get to that answer on our own. They want us to go through that journey on our own and to find out the answer. So to explain this point, let's just go back to the first episode. So in the first episode, I was laying a lot of emphasis on the term experiences, or the term experience. मैंने ये बोला था कि experience is the most important aspect of a human's life. And which is true, it is. Because when you experience things in your life, you become an individual. You become a different personality in society. You become a person. You become a human being. When you experience things in your life, you forge your own character. You build up your own character. Okay? So, that is what our parents want us to do. They want us to experience things in life. To understand this meaning, mistakes, you have to experience things in life. So the actual meaning of the term mistakes is being inexperienced to judge a particular situation for yourself, because you don't have the sense of judgment right now. ये तुम्हारे पास में नहीं है, because you're inexperienced. Again, highlighting the term experience. You're inexperienced to judge the situation for yourself, because you don't have the sense of judgment. और वो क्यों नहीं है? Because you're inexperienced, right? That is why experience is so invaluable to a human being. That is why I said in the first episode as well, कि experience things in life. Experience is the most important aspect. And further in the podcast, right, I'm going to kind of get into the entire thing of experiences. Right now, I'm on the stepping stones of experience. I'm going to explain the stepping stones of experiences. And the first stepping stone is making mistakes. When you make mistakes in life, right, you create small experiences for yourself. Because when you make mistakes का हम लोग ने अभी क्या देखा, मीनिंग जो देखा हमने वो है making errors in the sense of judgment towards a particular situation. Because why? You're inexperienced. But जब तुमने वो मिस्टेक की, उसके बाद में you gained some experience, right, जिससे तुम लोग को फिर वो sense of judgment आया. तो अगर कल को वही चीज़ अगर तुम्हारे साथ में हुई, तो you know how to deal with that situation, right? Or if a similar situation occurs, or maybe a different situation occurs, हर एक सिचुएशन में जब तुम लोग गलती करते हो, तुम्हारा सेंस ऑफ जजमेंट जो है खुद के लिए वो बढ़ता है. बिकॉज यू एक्सपीरियंस्ड समथिंग, बिकॉज थ्रू दैट मिस्टेक यू क्रिएटेड एन एक्सपीरियंस फॉर योर सेल्फ, एंड यू काइंड ऑफ bettered your sense of judgment towards the situation. So let's just get into the kind of deeper aspect of this term in the next segment. So yeah. So now I'm going to give you a hypothetical situation. थोड़ा सा ना अभी हम लोग इसमें अंदर घुसते हैं टॉपिक में, ज़रा सा जानते हैं, अलग अलग चीज़ें जानते हैं थोड़ी. I'm going to give you a hypothetical situation. So ask 100 people you meet this week. ठीक है, I'm not saying तुम असलियत में 100 लोग को जाके मिलो, just saying hypothetically. Ask 100 people you meet this week what instances spurred their biggest growth in life. ठीक है, like any dimension of it. ठीक है, तो आई एम प्रिटी श्योर कि सबके आंसर्स मेनली, सबके नहीं होंगे. सपोज अगर 100 लोग को मिले तो उसमें से एटलीस्ट 96% पीपल का आंसर वही रहेगा कि द मिस्टेक्स दैट दे मेड ड्यूरिंग दैट हासिल पीरियड. तो मतलब जितना ज़्यादा तुम लोग उनसे मतलब पता चलेगा तुम लोग को, तो उतना हमारे लिए लर्निंग एंड बेनिफिशियल है हमारे लिए, जो एक लॉन्ग टर्म लर्निंग बोल सकते हैं. बट थिंग इज़, instead of welcoming these missteps and embracing them as natural, productive, and highly potent opportunities, we instead live in fear of them. You know, we try to circumvent them, endeavor to hide them even when they inevitably will happen. Like, we get thrown off by skewed perceptions that are, kind of given through social media and otherwise different. I mean, basically social media, let's just not say different, just through social media जो काफ़ी सारे अजीब व गरीब skewed से perceptions जो रहते हैं, जो हम लोग को दिए जाते हैं ऑफ परफेक्शन. मतलब वो रहते हैं ना काफ़ी सारे रील्स इंस्टाग्राम पे, डू दिस आई, मतलब वो अजीब व गरीब सा एकदम मोटिवेशनल, एकदम मस्त मोटिवेशन तुम लोग को दे देंगे, तुम लोग एकदम माइंड वॉश हो जाओगे. मतलब असलियत में कोई होता नहीं, बट वो रहते हैं ना मोटिवेशन देकर एंड में एकदम सक्सेसफुल पे एकदम खतरनाक कोड गूगल से छापेंगे, जबकि इनके फॉलोअर्स भी 5,000 या 500 नहीं रहेंगे. तो मतलब ये लोग काफ़ी लोग जो है, जो मतलब नॉर्मली पीपल डोंट गेट मच इतना इन्फ्लुएंस बाय देम, बट मे बी अ सर्टन class or a certain group of people may get affected by it. See, I'm not going to take any names, but yeah. Anyway, so we fall prey to the idea that when we make a mistake, we have a problem instead of an opening. And it's not really good, to be honest, because in doing so, we just cut ourselves from perhaps our most effective catalyst for change. Okay. Now I am going to, tell you a few perks about mistakes. ठीक है, मतलब क्या इसके फ़ायदे हैं basically. So one of those things is mistakes free us from sabotaging fears and helps us take more positive risks. So it is basically very amazing the number fear can do on our health efforts. ठीक है, when we fear a certain outcome, our mind at times can even compulsively get wound around it. We become so entranced with trying desperately to tread the edge that we end up falling right in. And then it's done. Having hit up against the thing we have feared the most, there's a certain relief. The biggest bogey isn't trying to break down the psychic door, it's here on the couch sitting next to us. And suddenly it doesn't seem like such a catastrophe to live with. Not our first choice, but not the complete disaster we stressed so much about averting. There's a certain fearlessness that comes with failure, as in multiple failures, time and time and time again. It's one way elite athletes actually build resilience and hone discipline, because the more fearless we are, the less inhibited we are, and this opens up major possibilities. So kind of moving to the next perk of mistakes is that mistakes kind of makes us, like, moves us from an improvement mindset to an expansionist mindset or something like that. ठीक है, like this is a big point. ठीक है, काफ़ी लोग इस चीज़ को भूल जाते हैं. ठीक है, mistakes जो है, they kind of keep us nimble and creative and open us to a larger picture. ठीक है, they focus more on expansion rather than perfection. So the thing is, like, our entire life, we are brought up in a traditional kind of an upbringing, right? कि तुम्हारा जो भी है चीज़ परफेक्शन में होना चाहिए, सब कुछ परफेक्ट होना चाहिए. ठीक है, and it's like our vision towards a particular thing or our perspective towards a particular thing is very narrow. It is like very unidirectional. But when you make those mistakes, right, there's, again, the thing is, like, every particular single thing in life or in the world has infinite different possibilities or different pictures to it. ठीक है, so the same situation or maybe our outlook towards life, ठीक है, by making mistakes, our outlook will move from a particular, like, that narrow point to a wider range. ठीक है, if that makes a sense, if, like, it would move our vision to a wider picture that is in front of us, like जो हमारा future रहेगा. ठीक है, see, it may disappoint us in the moment, but ultimately it does remind us of the overachieving design we are aiming for. ठीक है. So coming to the final kind of segment of the podcast, see, mistakes remind us that it is all a grand experiment. ठीक है. These mistakes that I said, these mistakes form our experiences. ठीक है. जो छोटी छोटी जो errors हम लोग करते हैं, they form experiences for us, and those experiences are invaluable to a person. ठीक है. जो एक्सपीरियंस से तुम्हारा सेंस ऑफ जजमेंट बनता है, सेंस ऑफ जजमेंट का भी बात नहीं है, जो तुम्हारा कैरेक्टर बनता है उस चीज़ से, बिकॉज एक्सपीरियंसेस अल्टीमेटली फॉर्ज योर कैरेक्टर, बट यू बिल्ड दोज कैरेक्टर ट्रेट्स फ्रॉम दोज मिस्टेक्स दैट यू मेड. ठीक है. Finally, mistakes just oblige us to remember that all of our efforts, ठीक है, whatever they come to or don't come to whether they come to fruition or not, it is just how we made the game of life each day. ठीक है. जितना passionately we play that game, like that is what people say, right? The more passion you put into a thing, and then again passion के साथ में hard work, ऐसा नहीं कि सिर्फ passion, like the more passion you put into a thing and again hard work to it, you are going to get a fruitful outcome out of it. ठीक है. बट अगेन इसका मतलब ये नहीं होता कि पूरा टाइम गलतियाँ ही करनी है, एक बैलेंस होता है, लाइक एवरी एक्शन हैज़ एन इक्वल एंड अपोजिट रिएक्शन, राइट? सो वो बैलेंस रखना है, दोज मिस्टेक्स दैट वी मेक, वो बैलेंस रखना है टू आवर नॉर्मल लाइफ स्टाइल. बिकॉज अगेन मिस्टेक्स कैसे रहता है, इट्स बेसिकली लाइक अ हम्बलिंग ग्राउंड फॉर योर इनर परस्पेक्टिव, इफ दैट मेक्स एनी सेंस. लाइक सब बोलते हैं ना कि आर फ्रेंड्स आर अ रियलिटी चेक, लाइक दे हम्बल अस. इफ़ अगर हम लोग उड़ रहे हैं तो हमारे फ्रेंड्स जो रहते हैं वो काइंड ऑफ हमारा एक रियलिटी चेक होता है, वो हम लोग को नीचे ज़मीन पे लेके आते हैं. तो ये जो मिस्टेक्स जो हम लोग करते हैं, राइट, दे कीप अस फ्लेक्सिबल एंड अटेंटिव. ओके. दे काइंड ऑफ जस्ट कीप यू इन चेक. लाइक इफ़ यू आर, अगर तुम लोग भटक रहे हो तो maybe those mistakes will bring you back to your original vision, or maybe you would have a newer vision towards your particular picture, basically whatever you are doing. ठीक है. So like at the end of the day, these things are important to us because they kind of are the building blocks of a human being. ठीक है. जो चीज़ें हम लोग करते हैं उसका ये बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक है, इसलिए ये बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. एनीवे, this was it mostly. This was episode 2. I know it took a lot of time. I know काफ़ी लोग might be disappointed after listen to the podcast after such a huge break. But I guess, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. Still, there's just a lot of things I was figuring out. And the previous episode I said had some technical issues, तो वो हो नहीं पाया था उसकी वजह से. But yeah, I'll be more consistent. And anyways, this is it for today. My name is Varun Almuti and you were listening to Match Podcast on Spotify. I am taking my leave. Peace.